Welcome back to another episode of Against the Insanity. You've got Jason and Ricky here. We've got another weekend full of content for you. What's going on, Ricky?
Oh, not a whole lot. Ready to bring another show to you guys. We had quite the evening of Gears of War last night.
Oof, yeah. Fucking late one, let me tell you. It was a little rough getting up this morning. My eyes were fucking on fire when I rolled out of bed. And we are also working on a fucking game. We are just calling it One Way Ticket for right now, not to kind of reveal anything, but something that we'd like to do live in further, like future live streams and stuff like that, refining a game. It's kind of a takeoff of another game that people play like in person, but we want to be able to do it like over the internet with each other since we are currently across the country from each other. So right. I think that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, we had a good test run and, gather some feedback and a couple things we're working on to improve it. So we don't want to talk about it too much yet, but definitely in the next coming, I don't really have time.
Weeks, dude. Yeah, for sure. We'll get it ironed out, and maybe we can do like a live stream and have, anybody that listens, if you want to join us, you can. Yeah. Give your input on some of the stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So fucking me and Amy yesterday, dude, like before I got home and before we were working on this stuff, we went to Diamond Valley Ranch. And so like Amy's up there, like, getting our tickets, and it's like all these wildflowers like around this lake. But it's Diamond Valley Lake, and they give you this pamphlet, and I'm fucking standing there, and I open it up, and I'm like, it gives you a list of like all these flowers, and one of these flowers are they're called blue dicks. So I go to Amy, I'm like, I'm so glad we're here. I just hope to see some blue dicks today in front of all these fucking people. She's like, you're a fucking asshole.
That's funny. Oh, shit.
She's like, you guys and your obsession with penises. She's like, I don't understand what's so fucking funny about it.
That is a very interesting name for a flower, though. Like, why?
That's what I said. I said to her, I was like, why the name? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But then she actually looked it up last night. It was bothering her so much. She actually looked it up. When we were online playing, she brought it over to me. She's like, look, here, this is what they were originally called. And I'm like, okay, well, why not keep that name? Like, call them blue dicks. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What the hell?
It was cool. Got some good photos. Like, I mean, there's literally like around the lake, they have like poppies and shit everywhere, like growing now because of all the freaking rain and shit that we've been getting, man. The wildflower bloom is ridiculous. Like, it's all over like certain mountains out here along the freeways and shit. It's pretty cool looking for a change, as opposed to the old dead grass and fucking brown everywhere.
Well, there's plenty of brown in California with the poop maps. So.
Oh, yeah, all over fucking San Francisco. Actually, the streets might be pretty clean right now with all the flooding and shit they've been having.
Oh,
hopefully that floods right into Nancy Pelosi's fucking house.
Right. Mother Nature had to take over because the fucking, government in San Francisco ain't doing anything about it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of assholes from California, this is perfect for our first story. Kamala Harris crowd boos her at her alma mater's game. Vice President Kamala Harris was showered with boos while attending the NCAA tournament game Thursday. Her alma mater, Howard University, was blown out in the first round of March Madness. When the VP was shown on the video board during the men's basketball game, the boos were louder than the applause inside the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa. The Associated Press reported.
That's funny.
Well, just goes to show you, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It goes to show you. No, I was going to say, it just goes to show you the majority do not like this bitch.
Well, she didn't even win nomination from her own state here in California. Nobody fucking likes this bitch.
Right. Yeah, I sure as hell don't. We did it, Joe. Yeah, did you?
Yeah, fucking cackling Kamala. Like every fucking time you see her on The View or some bullshit.
Yeah, I can't stand her face. Every
God,
time I see her laugh, oh
she'd
my
be
god,
perfect with all the old crows on the fucking View.
yeah, she would. Oh
Between
shit!
fucking her, Joy Behar, and fucking Whoopi, that'd be a fucking trio you can't forget.
Right.
Christ.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think they hate this shit because they can't hide it. They can't
Right.
mask it and be like, "Oh, that's not what they were saying," and they weren't. The crowd really wasn't booing her, but no, they are, and it's gotten to the point now where they can't hide it and they can't make excuses for it. Like everybody knows, and I think the optics are really important. That people need to understand that nobody fucking likes her.
Right.
She's fucking terrible. This next fucking story kind of fucking weirds me out too, man. Fucking pet monkey shot and killed after escaping and ripping off a woman's ear. Dixon, Oklahoma. A Dixon woman is recovering after a monkey attack she says that she never expected. Brittany Parker said she was sitting on her couch on Sunday when she saw a monkey on her porch. At first, it just seemed curious. I had actually FaceTimed some family and was like, "Look, there's a monkey," Parker said. He was pacing back and forth, and then he was jumping off my railing and hitting my storm door. Parker said the monkey tried to get into the house, even ripping off part of the door handle. That doesn't ring any red flags going up here. That's when she called 911. Dixon Police Chief Tim Duncan said in his 20 years of being in law enforcement, he's seen a lot of animal at large calls, but never a monkey. Duncan said officers weren't even sure they heard the call correctly. It's Oklahoma. It happens, Duncan said. We get animal calls all the time. It's something that we deal with. It's just monkeys are not a normal thing for us. When officers arrived, Parker said the monkey was acting friendly towards the officer, so she went outside with her son, and the monkey came charging. He crawled up my back and yanked out multiple wads of my hair, then ripped my ear in half, Parker said, and it was just hanging there. Parker was taken to the hospital and given a rabies shot.
Oh my god, dude! It's I mean, they get a lot of animal calls in Oklahoma, but like, it doesn't seem like monkey is something they normally get. So, like, where'd this monkey come from?
Well, I got a fucking question. Okay, didn't this fucking lady ever see the movie Outbreak? It's basically like where a monkey gets loose and fucking starts like, a disease starts fucking sweeping through.
Right.
Like,
okay.
First of all, I would not be going outside and be like, "Oh, they look at the fucking cute monkey." Like, I've seen how that shit fucking ends.
Right. Yeah, it's a wild animal. Like, I ain't gonna let that shit crawl. I mean, shit. Like, no.
Fuck no. Especially a monkey. I mean, eventually it ended up being fucking shot and killed.
Right.
But, I mean, it's unfortunate, but goddamn, dude, when you see a fucking monkey outside your house, I mean, it would have rang bells when the monkey tried to rip part of the fucking door handle off.
Right.
Like, there's something
clearly
wrong.
It's not being, friendly at that point.
Yeah, it's right. A monkey trying to fucking break into your house. Hey, monkey, I got company, dude.
Right.
Monkey got his red belt today. He's a fast learner.
Monkey sucker punch. Oh my god, that damn movie.
Yeah. What happened to your eye? You wouldn't believe me.
Right.
Imagine having to tell that story. What happened to your ear? A fucking monkey ripped my ear in half.
Right.
Ooh, man, fuck that. No way. No way.
So did you hear about Putin as of late? So the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant Friday for Russian President Vladimir Putin and an official in his office responsible for children's rights because of their alleged involvement in the unlawful deportation and transfer of Ukrainian children from occupied areas in Ukraine to Russia. So yeah, I guess there's a warrant that was actually, it's out there that for Vladimir Putin regarding this, like, I'm not sure if they're trying to call it child trafficking. It kind of seems that way. I don't know. So any thoughts on this?
I do, actually. if you follow like the true story of what's going on in Ukraine, there are a lot of people in the Ukraine that say like the army and stuff like that is corrupt and they have been overtaken by neo-Nazis. And I got to be honest, I got to err on the side of Putin here. I think he's protecting the children. That's my personal opinion. Whether you feel that way about Putin or not, I just don't think he's the bad guy in this when you really follow like all the shit that's been going on in Ukraine and with actual biolabs and shit like that. I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
Anytime the mainstream fucking narrative comes out and they try to shape this, especially this, when I saw you put this in the doc, I'm thinking to myself, it's definitely not trafficking. We've seen what happens with trafficking, and we know a lot of politicians and stuff these days. We have ideas that they've been involved in specific trafficking over the years, and I just don't think that that's Putin.
Yeah. So the article here from USA Today continues. It goes, Ukraine has already arrested and convicted some Russian soldiers, all of them low ranking for war crimes in Ukraine. The ICC's arrest warrant for Putin and Lvova Belova, I might be butchering that name, but marks the International Court first arrest warrant since Russia invaded Ukraine. Moscow has reportedly denied allegations of war crimes in Ukraine. The ICC did not provide any details about the number of cases or children the allegations refer to, citing the need to protect victims and witnesses and to safeguard the ongoing investigation. It said it was making the arrest warrants public because it believes doing so could prevent the further commission of crimes.
And another thing, too, I'm going to throw this in here, especially at times of war. Children are used as propaganda all the time. If you look back in World War II and, that kind of thing, that's where it starts to get a little sketch for me as well. Like, trying to put it out there that he's doing, because it tugs at your heartstrings. If Putin is actually doing this stuff to kids, it wants you to basically because there's a lot of people that don't agree with this war. They don't even agree that we're getting involved.
Right.
Like if they figure if they put something like this out there, why they're making it public, it's going to tug at your heartstrings, and then you're going to feel sorry, and you're going to want to send fucking more of our billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Well, that's
stop this shit.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that's my perspective. Like, I really don't agree with this war at all, and the fact that the U.S. keeps sending all this money, billions of dollars, to Ukraine, when our own country here is in the state that it's in, and prices of everything are just out of control, yet all this money's getting pissed away in other countries. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't agree with it. I really don't.
I don't either. And to be honest, like, I'm sorry. I don't think Putin's wrong in this. And, people can get mad at me and like, oh, Putin's ex-KGB and yada, yada, yada. But like, I just don't feel like he's wrong in this one. And, think about it what you want. But I have a feeling that if anything, he's trying to protect these kids because of fucking what's been going on in the military. I mean, I've seen, like I said, it's hearsay at this point, but I've seen videos of Ukrainian soldiers point blank just shooting fucking, Russian soldiers dead when they capped them. You know what I mean? When they captured them and stuff. And
yeah.
Like, I don't know what to believe. And I'm just not buying like our media. I mean, we've seen all the lies our media has told about everything, about Russia collusion and fucking Trump this, Trump that, and I have a hard time buying into this shit. I just don't, anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think we're definitely gonna have to see what comes from this, but yeah, I just wanted to bring it up.
No, that was a good one. Yeah, I saw this and I was like, yeah, like Putin's gonna be like, oh, yeah, you got me. I'm just gonna show up to fucking international court.
Right.
Like, yeah, give me a fucking break.
Right.
Speaking of Trump.
Yeah. Speaking of Trump, Trump claims he will be arrested Tuesday. Calls for protests is what this article is saying, ABC News. Former President Donald Trump claims in a post on his social media platform that he will be arrested on Tuesday related to the Manhattan District Attorney investigation into hush money payments made to the adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. So as part of the post, Trump also called on his supporters to protest. In a statement, a Trump spokesperson appeared to walk back the comments. The spokesperson said, there is no notification. The DA has decided to take his witch hunt to the next level. President Trump is rightfully highlighting his innocence and the weaponization of our injustice system. He will be in Texas next weekend for a giant rally.
I wanted to launch into when I saw this. There are a couple things that came into my mind. So, like, I think that if they were to try to arrest Trump, I just think, like everything else they have tried on Trump, it's going to backfire, and it's going to make us as American people, especially someone like me, rally behind him even more, because I've seen the bullshit that they've created to try to frame this guy. And they just can't seem to get over Stormy Daniels. And Trump says, I had nothing to fucking do with that woman. And I got to be honest, like, I truly believe it. What does he need a porn star for? You've heard me talk about this before when we were on fucking Discord. Like, there's no way he needs to. He just doesn't seem like he would go for that type of girl. Maybe I could be wrong. However, I mean, look at his wife.
Right.
I mean, she put Stormy Daniels to shame. What do you need a fucking porn star for? I mean, that's damaged fucking goods. And two, exactly. Another thing that I would be weird about, and Dan Bongino was actually on Fox News saying about this. He's like, I firmly believe if President Trump gets arrested, we all have our chance to protest. He's like, but I got to warn you guys, look what they did to the people at January 6th. They tried to set them up. They tried to have you arrested. If you are going to protest this, be aware that your government is going to try to fucking have you arrested. They're going to try something, and they're going to try to have you arrested for protesting that they're throwing Trump in jail. And it's just one other way as a setup. And I think Trump might actually be saying, too, for these people to go protest, to try to, in turn, set up like Antifa or something like that to possibly go fucking protest as well. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like a double-edged sword. He might be calling them out. So I would proceed with caution, like in terms of any kind of a protest. But back to you.
No, I was going to say, I'll be interested to see what comes from this. You know, I have a hard time believing, again, just like you mentioned, that he was involved with this, you know, Stormy Daniels person. You know, I know in the very beginning, he and I don't know if this is legitimate, just kind of the shit that I've read online, which, you know how that is. But, you know, in the very beginning, I know he denied it, any involvement with her at all. There were some articles that came out and said that, then he did confess that he did, which I don't know. And then, the whole thing about the hush money, like basically he was saying like he did it because of legal advice by his team of people, defending him to do it. It wasn't like an admission of guilt, but to, get rid of her, basically. But even that, devil's advocate, I guess. That's weird to me, too. Why pay her off if you know you didn't do anything with her? I don't know. Like, I'm like, again, I'm not saying that he did. I think it's kind of weird for sure. But yeah, I definitely want to see what's going to happen here, this week, if this actually does happen. I guess there were some people contacting this Manhattan District Attorney's office. The Alvin Bragg, I guess, is the person that's kind of control here of. I don't want to call it a trial, but the this case here. People were contacting the office there, sending emails, kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it like intimidation tactics, but he basically came out and said, "We do not tolerate attempts to intimidate our office or threaten the rule of law in New York," Bragg said in an email obtained by ABC News.
I feel like most people wouldn't fucking do that, especially our side. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be pissed if they fucking arrested Trump, but I would not be calling and trying to threaten the DA. I mean, yeah, I feel like they're fucking exaggerating that bullshit.
Right. Yeah, and they could be, this is just what we're being told right now.
They're all fucking corrupt assholes. I don't trust any of these fucking fools anymore. I really don't. You can't.
No, you definitely can't.
And, one thing to keep in mind about the whole Stormy Daniels thing is Trump sued her then. He countersued, took her to court, and now she's paying his fucking legal fees.
That's true.
So, that's a lot of people don't fucking bring that up. But, I mean, she owes him over $300,000 in court fees. And keep in mind, too, her lawyer is in jail for extorting Nike. I mean, I'm not even making this up. This is actually some truth. His office was in the building in the investment company where I used to work. I remember when they fucking, they started cleaning out his office and shit like that. He owed, from what I understand, he owed over $500,000 in rent he didn't pay in his fucking office. The dude was a fucking scumbag. So, like, I really have a hard time believing, all that shit with Trump, because I feel like
Yeah.
people try to probably extort him for money all the time. I mean, maybe she did try to set him up or something like that, or, and Trump's like, oh, okay, well, let's, settle this in court or something. If there was money exchanged, I don't know.
Right.
However, like, everybody that was involved with that bitch is fucking corrupt. And her herself, is paying Trump money. So, that's interesting,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a very good point.
Something to consider.
Yeah. So definitely, keep an eye out for this week. Again, the claim is that this might be happening on Tuesday of this week. So I'm going to be interested to see what actually happens, if it happens at all. So, keep your eyes open for this one.
And to finish things off here, we kind of do this thing. We started doing this thing every week called the Baldwin Awards. And I wanted to play this clip for you, Ricky, that comes from a children's TV show on Netflix. It was posted by Libs of TikTok. I frequent those Twitter feeds and just try to get some crazy shit. And, I figured this is a good thing to play for people to realize, like, when you let your kids watch Netflix or you have them on YouTube, you really need to, like, screen the shows and for the content that they're watching, because this was a real eye opener for me. I mean, this is a fucking kids show talking about the use of fucking pronouns and shit like that. Give a listen for yourself, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Name Fred. That's because I'm non-binary, and Fred is the name that fits me best. And I also use they and them because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel right to me.
I'm sorry I used the wrong name and pronouns.
That's a fucking kids show on Netflix.
Right. Yeah. Why are they even having this in kids shows? When you're the age that you're watching this, right? You don't even know what a pronoun is. So to even make an episode about this, to me, is just, you're clearly pandering to a certain audience.
You're targeting kids, and you're trying to groom them. I mean, that you're definitely trying to groom kids for this kind of fucking mental instability. And Netflix apparently, from what I heard recently, has panicked now that this is out there, and they went ahead and they're going to go ahead and cancel that fucking show because people are fucking tired of it. And I mean, I love the fact that people like Libs of TikTok are doing this as a public service, because they're not necessarily deceiving anybody. They're playing their words directly to an audience. What these people say, what these shows are saying, and there's not, it's just basically like showing them a mirror. You're not deceiving them in any way, and they hate it because it's destroying them. And it should. I mean, this is fucking insanity. That's why we started the show.
Right. Yeah.
I'm tired of this shit.
No, I mean, and this isn't the only kids show that they've done this shit.
No.
I'm not going to go too much into it because I don't have all the specifics, but I know one of the newer Blue's Clues episodes, they kind of did the same shit, and they made like a Pride Parade episode, and there's a song and
one. Yep.
all kinds of shit, and I'm like, oh my god, you got to be kidding me! Like,
there was even a show where it was almost like a grooming episode. It was centered around like a dog. And apparently that I don't even want to butcher it, but basically the gist of it was he was touched inappropriately by like an older, dog or whatever. And basically it was along the lines of like, just go with it. It was saying somewhere, I gotta look for it, but dude, it was really fucking bad. And like, how the fuck are they letting this out there? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you really just, if you take one thing away, monitor what your kids are watching, because this shit is all over the internet. And it's like, yeah, places like YouTube endorse it and they try to sell it to your kids. And I mean, I've heard a couple of my friends say, like, next thing you know, like, they're watching this video and I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? Where did this come from? And it's like in the suggested feed. You just like, no, kids are going to go through it. And it's suggested, oh, it's good for kids. It still comes up under the banner, it's filtered for kids. Well, this is the shit that they're saying is filtered for kids.
Yeah, so. And it's targeting an innocent audience, kids like that in a recommended feed. They're just going to click on the video, they're going to watch it, and then this shit is being, put in their head. Like, it's not okay. It's really not. They shouldn't be involved with this shit at that young of an age. They don't understand what's going on.
It's time to wake up. I know it sucks being a parent sometimes, but you really need to watch this shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about all we have for today. But I just wanted to put it out there. I still am kind of, it'd be nice to hear from anybody that has any feedback for the show. I occasionally get feedback from friends, but if you are new to the show, we're on Rumble and we're on YouTube. If you're watching the show, just drop something in the comments if you have any feedback, whether it's good or bad. I don't care. I got thick skin. I can handle it both ways. But or drop us an email, against the insanity 24/7 at gmail.com. We're going to be going live here, probably in the next week or two. Me and Ricky have discussed doing a PayPal if you want to make any donations to the show. If you really like the content, we want to do it more often. We'd eventually like to maybe have more of even bonus shows and stuff like that we can do. Like if you're a subscriber, that's obviously coming down the road. That's big plans, but we want to do more of that. We want to keep the show going, and any feedback that you have, I'd appreciate it if you let us know. All right. Well, until next time, this is another episode of Against the Insanity. We will catch you next week.
Adios, mofos.